Silent pain, loud awakening. Some people bruise you openly, in ways everyone can see. Others leave marks quietly. And then there are those encounters that happen so silently that the damage feels spiritual before it ever feels psychological. You're not here by accident. If you clicked this video, you felt something. Maybe you couldn't explain it. Maybe you thought you were imagining it. Maybe you convinced yourself it was exhaustion, or emotional sensitivity, or that love had simply become harder. But deep down, you knew something wasn't right. Because when a narcissist enters your life, it's not just a relationship. It's an energetic shift. A silent battle. A pull you never understood, but couldn't escape from. It begins like poetry, and evolves like a war your heart never volunteered to fight. Narcissism is not one single face, not one single mask. It is layered. It is complex. It is adaptive. It mimics love and logic, healing and heartbreak, depending on what works best for the moment. That's why identifying the type matters. Because once you name the mask, you reclaim the power they used to blind you with. Today we open the subject gently and deeply, but honestly and bravely. No anger, no judgment, only awareness. Awareness is your rescue. Awareness is your rebellion. Awareness is your freedom. So breathe in and prepare your mind and heart. This will not entertain your emotions. It will awaken them. The grandiose narcissist. Let's begin with the mask everyone assumes is the only one. The grandiose narcissist is loud in presence, even when calm in speech. They don't just enter a room, they rule the emotional temperature of it. At first, this type looks powerful. Some mistake pride for confidence, dominance for strength, intensity for passion. But the grandiose narcissist doesn't want a pair of eyes that sees them. They want eyes that reflect them back gloriously. They weaponize admiration like oxygen. Signs of this type: they sound convincing when they brag, because they believe their own narrative. They don't ask for attention. They absorb it. They're driven by hierarchy, emotional or social. They need to feel higher, smarter, more successful, more attractive, more needed. Not better for growth, but better for ego. Their language is success. Their currency is validation. Their reflex is competition. And their shadow side reveals itself subtly. They don't apologize, because they interpret accountability as weakness. They don't compromise, because they interpret disagreement as power loss. They don't empathize with your pain, because they interpret emotional vulnerability as leverage for influence. They may call you emotional, but they call themselves exceptional. And if you've ever felt like love became a one-person stage, where you clap and they shine, you were near someone wearing this mask. Not love, not passion, not destiny. A mirror with an ego behind it. The vulnerable narcissist. This type is quieter, but not weaker. Their manipulation speaks at the frequency of pity instead of pride. They conquer with wounds, not trophies. At first they appear sensitive, emotionally, someone misunderstood by the world. And for empathetic people, this mask is almost hypnotic. You feel called to heal them. But the vulnerable narcissist doesn't want healing. They want caretaking permanently. Signs of this type: they make everything about their suffering. Their pain is louder than your life. Their stories always require a villain and a victim. And the victim is always them. You begin carrying emotional responsibility for their inner storms. Not by choice, but by emotional conditioning. They drain through needs, not noise. Through guilt, not applause. Through crisis, not charisma. And their dark side is, they don't describe their pain to solve it. They describe it to harness it. A cycle of emotional debt you never signed for. The malignant narcissist. Now we talk about the most dangerous mask. This one doesn't imitate love. It imitates power. The malignant narcissist does not manipulate for reassurance or admiration. They manipulate for domination. They remove your ground quietly, but intentionally. Signs of this type: they confuse you on purpose. Their silence feels threatening. Their praise feels conditional. Their affection feels brief, calculated, and strategically timed. They detach you from the people who anchor your clarity, from the parts of life that ground your peace, from the identity you once wore with confidence. Not a storm, not an argument, not an emotional clash. a slow rewiring of your trust system. They keep you guessing until guessing becomes exhausting. And their shadow side is not insecurity at all. It is cruelty without expression, influence without empathy, harm without loudness. This mask can leave you more disoriented mentally than emotionally, because it does not provoke drama. It provokes doubt, and doubt keeps you small, dependent, This type of narcissist does not want your love. They want your certainty broken. Because when your certainty breaks, you anchor yourself to theirs. Not partnership, not connection. Possession through perception. The communal narcissist. The communal narcissist is loved by the world, but needy in the hidden places. This mask looks altruistic, healing, spiritual, empathetic, or even morally superior to others. They distribute kindness like a grand gesture publicly. But they don't give to help. They give to be seen helping. Signs of this type. They're the moral preacher, the generous public icon, the community helper, the emotional counselor, but only as long as they are framed heroically for it. Their kindness is a performance stage, not a pure offering. In private, their language shifts. I did everything for you. You don't appreciate me enough. Without me, you'd be nothing. You misunderstand my intentions. They use benevolence as pressure, morality as control, service as leverage, affection as proof of superiority. Their shadow side is not loud. It is a saint mask with ego politics behind it. If you felt judged instead of seen, spiritually indebted instead of loved, psychologically confused instead of partnered, this was the communal mask. Love that moralizes is not love that connects. Love that pressures is not love that heals. Love that presents receipts is not love that gives wings. It gives roles, not freedom. The covert narcissist. This mask hides better than all the others. Not through trophies, wounds, threats, or public preaching, but through calmness. The covert narcissist does not want a stage, nor a crisis. They want subtle influence. Signs of this type. They don't scream, but they shrink you. They don't threaten, but they distance you into obedience. They don't brag, but they expect you to celebrate them inwardly. They don't cry dramatically, but they punish with emotional absence. They strategically withdraw affection, calm the room while confusing your identity, weaponize subtle sarcasm, give soft critiques that cut deeply, offer mixed signals that fragment yourself. Their destruction looks like emotional energy. Your emotions become tangled in their silence, and their presence feels like a question mark in your heart after a while. This narcissist can spend an entire relationship without being recognized by others, but entirely recognized by your nervous system. Because manipulation that whispers does not echo in the world. It echoes in you. It makes your soul small, without a single visible shout. A rewiring of your emotional boundaries, without fingerprints. A shrinking of your identity through calm withdrawal. If you've ever felt your spark dim quietly, your life narrated subtly by someone else's emotions, your intuition gaslit politely, your boundaries declining without negotiation, you may have experienced the covert mask. Love that hides is not love that anchors. It is love that borrows, never owns. The mirror that reveals you. Now that we've opened the 5 masks, let's return to you. Because this video is not about naming them. It's about reclaiming yourself. The narcissist served as a mirror. But not the mirror they think they are. The mirror God uses to show you what you were meant to see about yourself. The parts of you that were asleep. Your boundaries. Your intuition. Your emotional limits. Your ability to say I matter too. The narcissist was the trigger, not the teacher. The pain was the spotlight, not the message. God allowed this encounter. Because you would never heal the wound you could not acknowledge. You'd never close a cycle you didn't believe was open. Now you see it. And now you cannot unsee it. Once you know the mask, you also know the exit. Awakening hurts, but awakening frees. And freedom is always personal first, then shared. The mirror that reveals you. Now that we've opened the 5 masks, let's return to you. Because this video is not about naming them. It's about reclaiming yourself. The narcissist served as a mirror, but not the mirror they think they are. The mirror God uses to show you what you were meant to see about yourself. The parts of you that were asleep. Your boundaries. Your intuition. Your emotional limits. Your ability to say I matter too. The narcissist was the trigger, not the teacher. The pain was the spotlight, not the message. God allowed this encounter because you would never heal the wound you could not acknowledge. You'd never close a cycle you didn't believe was open. Now you see it. And now you cannot unsee it. Once you know the mask, you also know the exit. Awakening hurts, but awakening frees. And freedom is always personal first, then shared. Reclaiming the power they tried to take. Here's the final truth. You were not placed in this story to shrink. You were placed in it to rise. Because once you survive the narcissist's silence, you awaken your own voice. Once you leave the confusion, you recover your perception. Once you exit the punishment cycles, you discover your emotional sovereignty was never the mistake. The mistake was giving it without measuring its weight first. Now you measure. Now you see. Now you choose yourself. This is not the ending. This is liberation. If this message resonated with you, like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this with someone who may need to hear it. And remember, you were never sent by accident. You were sent to awaken. Stay stoic. Stay aware. Stay free. If this spoke to your heart, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who might be living this story in silence. You deserve clarity. You deserve peace. And you deserve a love that expands your soul, not drains it. We grow stronger when we awaken together. Thank you for watching. Stay stoic. Stay aware. Stay free.